The Modern Day Monarchs are your 2024 Max Preps National Champs. They began the season as the number one team in the Max Preps Top 25 and went wire to wire as the top-ranked squad in high school football. They ran the table going 13-0 and beat 8 teams that finished ranked in the Max Preps Top 25. They had wins over number 4 Bishop Gorman, 2 dubs over number 5 St. John Bosco, wins over number 8 St. Francis Academy and number 13 Orange Lutheran, 2 wins over number 14 Corona Centennial, and finished the season with a 37-15 dub over number 22 De La Salle in the CIF Open Division State Championship.
Hey, Turf Talk, always a pleasure. I would say Turf Talk 101. My partners couldn't show up because it's a last minute thing. Got the coach on the hotline, and we never turned down no kind of call from this coach right here. He's the number one high school in the nation, the champion. Congratulations. We got a chance to talk to him before you became the champion last year. How's it going, Coach Lara? How you doing?
I'm doing good, and like you said, how's it going? It's going pretty smooth. It's been good here.
Okay, we talked to you last year before you was just going through the process, building, putting your formula, putting the gumbo seasoning together. You know how it goes. Talk to us a little bit about the experience of last year and how you got to where you got to.
Well, obviously, the experience that I had at Long Beach Poly really helped with this first year. Came in as the number one team in the country. The biggest question that I always got, or I get, is how did you keep your team focused? And really, I'm gonna be honest with you. We just kind of talked about, hey, let's take advantage of the day that we're given, and let's try to be better than what we were yesterday. And so we mainly stayed focused there, not worry about too much of the future. And the kids bought into it, and it worked. And then obviously we ended up winning everything. So that was pretty awesome.
And I know you're a man of high faith, and that's something I got from you the first time we talked, and the people around you know that. Is that something like, I don't want to say you took the kids a certain way, but it's the way you talk to them, the way you believe in them, and they start believing in themselves. Because for a coach like yourself to get on the first year and put it together that quick, it's a pretty dang good job.
Well, there's no doubt. I feel that there's a reason why I'm here at Modern Day, and I look back at my path. I can see the man upstairs kind of prepping me for this position for whatever reason. And so, like right now, I told the kids, the man upstairs already know who won the championship. It's just now us getting in the roller coaster and riding the roller coaster and believing and having faith in him in whatever path he's trying to send us through. And so that's what we kind of experienced last year. And then this year is the same thing. More than likely we'll probably be the number one team in the country again. And so we'll have a big target. And then it's just a matter of us staying focused on what we can control. And what can we control is the day that we have been given.
Yes, sir.
And let's get better. And so that's the main focus here right now.
Okay. I know I don't want to keep you long because you have meetings and stuff today. I want to talk a little bit about the preparation. Like you said, you're going to be number one this year. The preparation of being that Super Bowl team or that World Series team, and every week people want to give it their best shot at you. What is it about the kids, and what kind of mentality is it that you try to install? Because hey, every week we got to give us our best because they coming for us.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. The kids will probably tell you, yeah, we already know that, that they're going to give us their best shot. But the kids are down for that challenge. They're looking forward to that. They want the best because they want to be the best. And so it kind of keeps them accountable in the sense of every time we have an opportunity to get better, or practice and to better our skills, they take advantage of it. That's one thing about practice. When I watch these kids practice, I really don't have to push them. The talent level on both sides of the ball is very challenging. And so it kind of reminds me of the days when, we will have a Deshaun Jackson and then a Rodney Van on the other side when I was at Long Beach Poly. These guys were battling every day, and if they battle every day with the best, then obviously, when they play other teams, it's going to help tremendously. And that's what's happening here. We have so much talent that the talent, rises above everything else. And so these guys really compete against each other every day, and it obviously shows on the field.
Definitely. If you're just tuning in, it's Turf Talk with head coach, world champion, national champion right here, Coach Lara. I want to talk to you a little bit about last season. What was a couple of games that kept you up late last year?
I mean, I think if anything, if I look back at last year, there was a game against Santa Margarita,
Hmm.
and these were, again, these are things that we built up to, and so Santa Margarita was the first team that ever scored first on us.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, we kind of fell apart on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Kids were bickering and this and that and that and this, and so eventually we won the game. And so I remember the next week practice, I told him that I was a little disappointed how, our brotherhood didn't really stick together. It kind of fell apart. And it's something that we really need to work on because we're going to be challenged again and then, and see what happens. And so the next team that actually scored on us first again was Orange Lutheran.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it was a different mode on the sidelines. You can see players trusting in the coaches and the adjustments. You can see players working with each other and trying to get it going. And then obviously we pulled that out and won that game. But the biggest challenge was our championship game against Bosco. That was the second game. Bosco really came out with an awesome game plan. And it really challenged our kids, but not one kid on the sidelines fell apart. And we stuck together, and then obviously we pulled that out. And so to me, the growth of us learning how to deal with adversity as a team and the brotherhood sticking together was, to me, the biggest accomplishment that I saw from last year's team, even though we won everything. But just seeing these kids, these players, just grow in that sense.
That I kind of seen that smile on your face when you talked about the first game. There was a slight meltdown in the second. Is that what still drives you and the coach? Is that moment right there is putting the puzzle together?
There is no doubt. That's why I like doing this. Football has taught me a lot about life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to give back to the players that I coach.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, these moments, like, something tragic might happen in your family, and then all of a sudden you're freaking out. And then hopefully there's somebody there to kind of guide you and say, hey, man, you can't act that way. And then so when next time something else happens, you can handle it a little bit more better, or whatever the case may be. And that's what football has done for me. And so for me, all them coaches that taught me that when I was coming up, I feel like now I need to now in return teach it to the kids that I'm coaching. And hopefully the kids that I'm coaching, eventually they coach and they do the same thing. But that's what it's all about. That's what coaching is all about, is utilizing these games to teach these young men life skills. So when they get into life, when something serious happens, they know how to handle that.
Definitely, and I think that's why you've been put in a situation you've been putting in because you're a man of giveth. I truly believe that, and I don't think everybody knows that, but we want them to know that definitely from you. If there's a common denominator for Coach Lara, because you dealt with some of the biggest stars that people probably forgot about at Long Beach Poly, and now you're with at Modern Day, but there's a formula. There's a formula somewhere in there. I don't know. It's a little bit of algebra, geometry, trigonometry, whatever it is. There's a formula. What do you think the common denominator is dealing with both of those programs and taking them to high amounts of success?
I think what people, at least the players, see in me, I don't care who you are, I'm going to treat you the same.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the guy that never gets in the game or the guy that has like 20 stars and he does everything fantastic. I'm still going to treat them the same way. There's no difference. And I think when my players see that, they appreciate that. And so they see, I'm hoping they see the realness of me. I'm not gonna, kiss anybody's butt or anything like that. Everybody's gonna have to deal with the program, the whatever's set. That's how we're gonna do it, and whatever the case may be. And so that's something that I think has worked for me. And I truly, if I stay the same in the sense of treating people the way they need to be treated, and I don't think I have a problem. I don't care how big you are or whatever the case may be, or how many, whatever. My thing is I'm going to treat you the same way than like any other person. And here we go.
And I
And I
definitely
think they see that. Yeah.
I definitely think they see that and they know that, and I think parents know that, and the people around everywhere know that. Well, going into this year, it's not that much of a big deal because you always got the target on your back. You always been number one. Is there anything that you've added to the coaches meeting or anything new that you brought in as far as a perspective for dealing with this year to kind of, change the environment or anything new?
The thing that's way different than it was last year. Remember, last year I got hired in April, the end of April.
Okay.
So I truly did not have an off season. And so this year was my first complete off season.
That's crazy.
And yeah,
Go ahead.
and so
Yeah.
and so what's so funny, last year when we went into spring practice, I felt like we were so far behind. This year, even the coaches are like, "Oh, coach, we are so way ahead. It's ridiculous." And that's how I feel. I feel like this group, now since I had a full off season and we continue working. I mean, right when Christmas break uh, ended and we came back to school, we were back on it. We're back in the weight room. We're back on the field twice a week. Stuff like that. And so now going into spring practice, well, we're way ahead than we were last year, and so that to me is pretty neat. The thing that we're kind of maybe a little bit different than last year might be a little bit of depth, but we got a good group of freshmen that came in
Okay.
that may help in that depth, and we're looking forward to these young guys really helping us out. So we'll see what happens.
Coach Lara, man, I always appreciate you jumping on the call with us, hanging out with Turf Talk, man. We
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you talking to the little guys. So, man, good luck with everything. We'll pop in on the game, see you here and there, and then checking with you throughout the year. But good luck and keep everybody healthy and keep that staff healthy so we can see you guys give everybody a good push.
All right. Well, thank you, man. And hey, regarding little or big, I told you I treat everybody the same. So hey,
Hey,
you hear that?
this is true. This is true. Hey, he's on there with Turf Talk, and hey,
Yeah.
not a lot of people will do that, but we appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you, man. All right.
Have a good one.
All right. Thanks.